Candidates for the Silent Unseen were required to complete a number of training courses, divided into several sections. The first step was the commissionary course, also called Course Zero. The curriculum consisted of ground training in sabotage, demolitions, and marksmanship, as well as overall physical workouts. Course Zero was meant to assess the physical capabilities of the candidates, their psychological endurance, and their aptitude for further training in sabotage and diversionary actions. The goal was to produce soldiers who were capable of operating independently within the occupied areas. It also laid the groundwork for further training in guerrilla warfare and diversionary operations in larger, organized assault teams.
They put a lot of emphasis on physical condition. They were teasing us, standing at the foot of a tall mountain, saying, "Yesterday, the Norwegians reached the peak in 5 minutes. Let's see how you fare." Of course, they were just saying that. You needed 20 or 30 minutes to do it. It was 100 meters or 150 meters, but through ravines, through the forest. There was no road. If I remember correctly, it was 2 or 3 weeks. I certainly felt the difference. What's to say? It's not that I've grown a lot of muscle, but the readiness, the preparedness, how you saw your limits. You suddenly felt more capable. It makes a huge difference.
The Polish Silent Unseen, among other SOE agents, received their instruction in specialized training centers, scattered throughout England and Scotland. They were called the STS, Special Training Schools. Those located in northwestern Scotland were mainly used for the commissionary, diversionary, and commando courses. The training lasted from a minimum of 2 weeks to as long as necessary. To make the most of the available time, their training took place from the early morning hours and lasted until dawn, often being stretched late into the night. Each day of training began with an intense physical workout. The physical condition of the soldiers was being improved through cross-country running, as well as long-distance marches in both day and nighttime. The intensity of the training regime was being gradually increased, forcing the candidates to overcome their weaknesses. They were shown that they were able to push themselves much further than they had initially thought.
It was like this all the time. Regular obstacle courses. Go, as they say, cross-country, not on the road, but cross-country. It was important to have the spatial orientation, to reach the right spot. I think we did all of it in Scotland at that time. One of my friends, he was in charge of the group. I used to correct his azimuth, angle references sometimes, because, you know, we had to reach our destination. My friend, he was in charge of the group of, I don't remember how many anymore. There were a few of us, and we had to march from one place to another. I only remember that it was probably at night, and I even somehow corrected this azimuth angle reference of his, where he was leading us on a hunch.
Azimuth marches were used to give the candidates an excellent sense of direction. They took place either during the day or in the night, with or without the aid of a map and compass. The candidates were often driven far out into an unknown terrain, where they needed to determine their location and figure out a way back to base using only a map. In a different scenario, the candidates were left in a previously visited area and had to return to base without using a map or a compass. All of these exercises were aimed to develop necessary habits for precise and effective navigation, even in an unknown terrain, both individually and as a group, and regardless of weather or light conditions. They improved the soldiers' stamina and self-confidence, teaching them to trust their training. They developed the ability to act independently, make quick decisions, and work as a team.
There was this fence, constructed of some iron bars, and if you wanted to go somewhere, it was best to jump over it. There were guys of various age, some of them a little older, so they didn't always succeed. Me, being the age that I was at the time, it would be hard for me not to be at my peak. To jump from a first floor window was no big deal, right? I don't remember whether we had to, but I, for one, used to do it. Maybe not every day, but I did jump to find out what I was capable of. Whether we had to jump from that first floor, but it was no big deal. If you hang down, it's not first story anymore. I had no problem with climbing up either. I went over the fence, there were these ledges, and then I could climb up. It was first floor.
Other elements of physical training included upper body training, also called rope work. After completing this course, climbing, ascending, or traversing a rope seemed easy as pie. Proper landing technique from various heights, also called tumbling. The candidates were taught proper rolls and break falls. It was supposed to prepare them physically and mentally for the difficulties of parachuting. Another element of training was the ability to traverse various obstacles, both natural and man-made.
To się zaczynało od tej, jak już wspomniałem, z tego skoku tam z tego pierwszego.
It started with a jump from a first-story window. From there, one had to climb a rope, and then I don't remember the exact order. There was crawling down under some metal sheets, walking on ropes between some trees. At the end the route was running towards the sea. There we had to rappel down, not down to the beach, but on the coast. And the last obstacle was a kind of a plank laid over a ditch. When you went over it, they detonated some kind of explosive. It was loud, to see whether you'd lose your balance or something. It was that kind of training.
Żeby zobaczyć, czy się nie traci przy tym jakiejś równowagi i tak dalej. No taka zaprawa mniej więcej, ogólnie rzecz biorąc.
Gestapo!
One of the most challenging elements of the physical training was running an obstacle course. The course started with an instructor barging into a room shouting "Gestapo," after which the candidate had to jump out of a first-story window. In a continuous dash, the candidate had to traverse various obstacles, both natural and those set up by the instructors. At the final stage of diversionary training, the obstacle course included the objective to shoot a number of targets, placed along the route. Graduating the physical training course required the candidates to demonstrate extraordinary determination, endurance, physical prowess, and mental toughness. However, this course was only one of many elements of training, which the future air troops still needed to go through. Other courses included marksmanship, demolitions, communications, hand-to-hand combat, and numerous other skills indispensable to the silent unseen in their future exploits.